Total Control 871. What's up, guys? I'm pissed. Second time I did this, I hit the wrong fucking button and I hit the stop, and I gotta do this again. Okay, today talking about C19. Excuse me, I am eating halls. C19, fact or fiction? Is it a killer or is it a hoax? That's what I'd like to talk about today. C19, COVID-19. The phone has me cut down to 29 minutes, so I'm afraid I gotta be very quickly with my talking points here, fast and furious, if you will. Okay, I wrote them down so I don't lose my train of thought here. I would like to start off by talking about, no, I'm not sponsored, Primathrene. Yeah, I gotta keep my screen here. Do you not notice the thick black border? Okay, it's thicker than the last time. You know, even when I captured over the photo, so our phone is hacked and it's trying to make my picture small. The phone is hacked. Primathrene. Okay. No, I'm not sponsored. I don't care if you use Sawyer or if you use Rappel or what have you. Please, please, please utilize really good tick defense this summer. The weather is breaking. In a couple of weeks, the ticks will be out. What's so important about this is that we're dealing with an epidemic that deals with your immune system. We all know tick bites compromise your immune system. So just like I'm steering you away from alcohol, please defend yourself against tick bites, because we're all going to be suffering from cabin fever. I'm going to be using my Primathrene to treat the back deck, so I'm going to be wanting to definitely sit out on the back deck, get out of the house. However, all of April and basically all of May, that's tick season. That's when the ticks are really going to be coming. I mean, that's when they're going to be like exploding. Like that's when they hatch. That's when they're ravenous. They're starving. So, those 2 months, you still got, a little whiles after that too, but please make sure you are taking care of yourself. The ticks, they will come for you. They're coming out of their winter slumber and they are starving. They're absolute ravenous. Next on our talking list here, my social worker, Deanna, she did finally call me. We're going to be getting together teleconferencing to help me with my health insurance. Hopefully that will go good. Also, the home furnishings. She was asking me, well, where are you with the home? I'm like, I don't know. You're going to have to call Jason, my ex-social worker. He just simply left everything an unfinished mess. He just left an unfinished mess for the next person to clean up. Normally, as I was telling you guys before, the home front, like the couch, a bed, chairs, stuff like that, it really wasn't at the tippity top of my priority list. But now that I have to get, now that I'm being saddled with rent, I gotta pop in another Halls here. The first time I did this video, I wasn't coughing so much, but now I've been talking for a while. I need the home furnishings, and it's become a priority. It's become a priority because going to the market can be a little tricky these days. The last time I was there was essentials. There were slowly but surely meats are starting to return to the shelves with strict limits. Okay, the milk case cooler. It was full. It was full. The bread was there. Our bread was there. However, that being said, my whole point is that one of the things that were on my wish list, or things that I wanted to utilize my housing money for, home furnishing money for, I wanted bakeware. What do you call it? It's a block of wood. It's got knives in it and a set of poultry shears. Things for cooking, things that liberate me from delivery takeout. So, I'm already, cooking for myself, but I would like to do that a whole lot more, and I need the home furnishings to do that. You know, cake pan, bread pan. I want to be able to bake my own bread. I want to make a beeline to the market. I want to get baker's yeast. A big sack of flour, eggs. Hey, don't be surprised at the end of this. Suddenly everybody's got fucking chickens in their backyard. Cock-a-doodle-doo, motherfucker. So, yeah. Anyway, what else have I got here? The home furnishings are making their way to the top of the list. It, everything is just a mess here, and of course I'm saddled with this rent that's going to make purchasing the stuff so much more difficult. I don't know if how many dairy farms are in New Jersey, so I don't know if it's Governor Murphy or maybe Governor Murphy, because I know all the tri-state governors are all talking. The whole Governors Association of America, they're talking and they're coordinating their efforts. Perhaps Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania. If there can be some sort of grant money, I know they're talking about block grants and things like that, because they're definitely it's a no hold bars on N95 mask and ventilators. Perhaps ultra pasteurizing milk. I don't know how much more expensive. Ultra pasteurizing milk, like ultra pasteurized to the point where when the milk is sealed, it can sit out at room temperature and not go bad for extended periods, for a few months. Do we need to start ultra pasteurizing milk? And of course, there's good old powdered milk for us foster kids. Oh yeah. We foster kids, we know a thing or two about powdered milk. A quick tip on preparing powdered milk. Get a pitcher, use hot water to dissolve the powdered milk, and then put it in a refrigerator and let it cool and chill. But if you use hot water, just like with Kool-Aid, you want to make the Kool-Aid drink with hot water, not cold water, and then you want it to chill. So same thing is also with milk. Ultra pasteurized. And then again, I'm wondering, do we even need to ultra pasteurize? Because it takes me to our prime topic for today. Is C-19 an actual national threat? How much of a threat is this thing? Is it a killer or is it a hoax? Honestly, I really don't know. I know we've got a couple of different camps out there. Some people believe that it is all a hoax for various reasons. Some believe that it is, oh my God, the end is fucking nigh, we're all gonna die. I'm not in either one of these camps. I'm just taking a very cerebral, methodical approach to the deduction, to analyzing what the situation is. What do you call it? Let's go over to Governor Cuomo here, because he made some very, very interesting points here. Or do I want to go to Governor Cuomo first? Maybe this time. This time, hopefully I don't cut the fucking hopefully I won't cut my damn video off. Let's go to Chris first. This is Dr. Fauci. I've spoken about Dr. Fauci. His credibility. It's just something about this man that I really don't care for. Now, if you remember, because so much of our government depends on you basically being a second generation CD player, if I'm not dating myself too bad here. Second generation CD player. For those of you who remember, first generation had 0 skip protection. Every little jot and tilt would cause the phone to skip. Second generation had depending on how much money you wanted to spend. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds of skip protection. And that's what the government banks on. It banks on your little brain having nothing more than 3 seconds of skip protection, meaning you can't really hold on to all the facts. Unfortunately, that's not me, goddammit. I definitely keep track of this shit. Chris Como, he brings a very interesting thing to Dr. Fauci's attention, and I'm sorry, but Dr. Fauci does a piss poor job of explaining this. Let's give a listen.
So may actually be so low it's not going to hurt you, but you don't want to take any chances, which is the reason why you want to make sure that you do clean off surfaces that are commonly used. But more important than all of that, I've said it many times, Chris, make sure you wash your hands as often as you possibly can.
Absolutely, we got it. Happy birthday 2 times in a row, soap and water, dry them off, I got it. Now, something I keep hearing from people that I wanted you to address directly, Tony, Dr. Fauci, is, swine flu, 61 million Americans were affected, 12,000 people died. We didn't do all this crazy stuff with the economy. Well, why? Why are we doing it all now when we didn't do it then? What's your answer?
Chris, this is different. This is totally different.
How?
The swine flu of 2009, the H1N1, was truly a pandemic. It spread widely. However, its lethality, its capability of causing really bad harm with morbidity and mortality was much, much less than what we have seen in China, of what we've seen in South Korea, what's going on in Europe, and what we're starting to see now in our own country. So there are worlds of difference between those two.
He did not explain that, no. He said worlds of difference. Come on, let's take a look here. All right. Worlds of difference. Now, this video that I'm referencing, it's about 2 days old. So our U.S. count, it might be a little bit higher than our, 8,690. And I do believe the death count, it is indeed over 200. So it's maybe about 250, we'll say. The swine flu, I'm sorry. And matter of fact, if you don't even, I tell you what, rather than me talk a whole bunch of shit here, like I said, this video is a couple of days old. Chris Como interviewed Fauci. Fauci just gave a piss poor comparison. He is claiming that the flu of, 09, 08, it just simply wasn't as bad, yet the death toll so far, it's extremely comparable. Extremely comparable. If you don't believe me, then let's jump over and hear what Chris's brother has to say, Governor Como.
If you have an underlying illness, you catch the flu, keep it in perspective. 30 negative. You get sick, you get symptoms, you recover. That is true for the overwhelming number of people. Again, context. People who died in the flu, from the flu, in 2018, 2019. 34,000 Americans. 34,000. So when you hear these numbers of deaths, keep it in perspective. 34,000 people died of the flu. Over 65, 74% of the people were over 65. 25% were under 65. So if you have an underlying illness, you catch the flu, you can die. More likely if you have an underlying illness, senior citizens, etc. But not necessarily. You have 25% under 65 years old die from the flu. Also, in terms of context perspective, don't listen to rumors.
I mean, you have such wild, let's remember some basic 4,000. So when you hear these numbers of deaths, keep it in perspective. 34,000 people died of the flu. Over 65, 74% of the people were over 65. 25% were under 65. So,
Okay, bear in mind, in America, it is, what is it, population? Our pop is about 230 million. Okay? Compared to our last year's death toll. Last year's death toll of 34,000. Okay? And we see the demographic of who it is that was taken out. Somebody is lying. Okay? Somebody is not telling the truth. Oh, there it is. That's what got rid of our black border. Do you understand when I say that the numbers don't jive and they don't mesh together? Okay, Fauci says, past flus of years and decades gone by, it was nothing like this. And yet, we clearly see Governor Cuomo, just a couple of hours ago, what I just referenced, it's only a couple of hours old, in his live stream, he clearly points out that no, death tolls of regular flu last year in America was almost 35,000. And so far, the death toll for coronavirus of this thing is only $250 roughly, because, you know, that's constantly changing. I'm having a difficulty reconciling these two realities. And it leads me to the conclusion that somebody is lying. Either you're lying now in the present, or you're lied in the past. You lied about the lethality of the common flu in years gone by in the past, most likely to promote your goddamn flu shot. I forgot if I said it in this video or the one I tried recording before, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I am a mid-level vaxxer, if that's what you want to call it. I believe in vaccinating against real shit. Oh my God, if I were a government spy, the way you could crack me is put me in a room and force, like Clockwork Orange, force me to look and hear the sounds of an infant being consumed by whooping cough. Jesus God Almighty, that is some shit that I cannot fucking listen to. I just fucking can't. So I believe in vaccinations, real vaccinations. This whole annual flu shot thing, I'm sorry, but this strain of the flu, this, what is it, like an amino acid, it has humanity beat by tens of millions of years. Okay, Earth's 4 billion year history, this thing has been on Earth. If the flu amino acid strain was not eradicated by the hostile environment of primordial Earth, then I'm sorry, nothing in your fucking laboratory you can cook up is gonna fucking cure this shit, alright? You are going to have to come to terms with the acceptable losses, as spoken about Governor Cuomo's, you know, our acceptable losses here. It's horrible to say. I lost it. But yes, you're going to have to come to terms with those acceptable losses. Live a healthy life. I know the 500-pound man is telling you to live a healthy life. Although, in my own defense, I do have a hormone condition and a bunch of other shit. Anyway, I can't really get too far off on an anti-flu shot rant today. But that's what it does. It leads me to wonder, where is all this going? All of this, it is my personal belief that the flu shot will ultimately weaken the natural immune system to the point where everybody is completely dependent on big pharmacy for a version of immunity. I believe that where this is all going is a type of biblical prophecy, mark of the beast. I got the strangest feeling that when, be it next year, because right now, like I say, all this isolation, this massive inconvenience, all this stuff, okay, that Chris Como pointed out to Fauci, why are we doing all this now if the flu has been killing tens of thousands of people in America each year and maybe 30-some thousand globally every year? Why are we doing this now? What exactly is the difference? If they're making life so difficult, if this hype has been manufactured by the government, it could very well indeed serve the purpose of being like cattle dogs that herd cattle to a certain location, sheep dogs to a certain location. Yes, you sheeple people herd sheep. Got to think for yourself. To herd them into big pharmacies, flu shot, COVID shot, next year, will our National Guard and our military be rounding people up and forcing them to get something that almost wiped out humanity? But unfortunately, that isn't the truth at all. It didn't almost wipe out humanity. Now look, not just simply the deaths in America, but the deaths in Asia and China and definitely Italy. I mourn and I grieve every last single death. I think that's awful that happened like that. But you cannot use that as the impetus of, a THX 1138 reality, a Blade Runner reality, do you need the mark? The mark that indicates you've been vaccinated this year to go out of your home. And if you don't have that mark indicating you have, well, then they're going to keep you in your isolation. Like the man that checked himself out of the hospital, and now there are sheriff's officers forcing him to stay in his home. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure where the whole thing is going. The government will lie to you. Science will lie to you. I'm going to leave you with one more talking point. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. No, believe it or not, I've been wanting to talk about this movie forever. I saw this movie. It was broadcast on TV, so I didn't see it in the theater as a child. And don't ask me why, but it was just something about the movie, the plot, that just simply stuck with me over the decades. And believe me, as our Greta Thunbergs are branching out, and as Silicon Valley is branching out and having more and more of a control over life, this movie has been playing over and over in my mind.
Those of us who survived learned to cope with changes. And I lost the chance to do what I do best. Race cars.
out. This car should have been turned in. Come on, move it.
What is it? It's a car.
I have no idea if you are familiar with the movie or not, The Last Chase. It involves a dystopian future where a virus, and yeah, I know there's a lot of virus movies out there. This movie is set in the year 2011. The movie was made in 1981. It's set in the year 1911. And in the movie, the plot of the movie is 20 years earlier, a virus wiped out a large portion of the population as security measures. The government concocted a false narrative that fossil fuel was running out and that all automobiles, anything that ran on an internal combustion engine, would have to be immediately surrendered and the government would confiscate it. That's why we see the government confiscating Lee Majors, his character's automobile. What you're looking at is a Porsche, I want to say 917 Roadster. I'm sorry if you car enthusiasts can correct me. He disassembled this Porsche, buried it in his garage, and then reassembled it little by little. The plot of the movie involves him driving this car blazingly across America, rage against the machine. Apparently, Lee Major's character was a government media whore. It was his job to facilitate the great transition from independent owned vehicles to mass transportation. Now, if you go over to Wikipedia, Google its plot, and continue reading what the whole movie was about, I think it is on YouTube for free right now, so go check it out. I'll post a link or whatever. It might even be on Hulu for free. I don't know. But the point is that because a lot of you conservatives will probably love this fucking movie, man. A narrative, hypnomind fucking the population into believing a scenario version of reality that simply is not true. The government will lie to you. Science will lie to you for their own purposes. That's what makes these pandemics so dangerous. It's not because of the lies that are being told currently in the present, but because of the lies that were told in the past. You end up creating a scenario where nobody really knows what's real and what is not. Things get dangerous and things get very, very difficult. This movie was absolutely awesome, I thought. Chris Makepeace. I think he did a movie called My Bodyguard, not to be confused with Whitney Houston's movie, but anyway. So guys, this movie was awesome. I do encourage you to get rid of my selfie circle without cutting me off. I do encourage you to check it out. Think for yourself. Question your reality. Don't just simply take what's being. Don't let it be spoon fed to you. You have to think for yourself, but you also cannot allow yourself to just simply fall into rampant paranoia and suspicion like that. Is this where it's all going? Controlling the government. Remember, because, with me being a cyclist and I'm not anti-car. A lot of people make that mistake. I'm not anti-car. Remember, my whole plight is against the economics, not the ecology of owning a car, but the economics of it. It's why there's no cable in this house. It's why there's no television in this house. I don't like things that require a whole bunch of fucking money every goddamn month. I'm not rich. I can't afford that shit. So yeah, I'd much rather pay $300 to $500 per year for bicycle maintenance than, I don't know, how much does it cost to fill your tank per month? Do the math. All right, guys. That's it. This phone, I guess when I record in this fashion, it chops me off at 29 minutes. So that's where I'm at right now. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Tick the fence. And make sure that you are taking good care of yourself, and be very wise, be very watchful, defend yourself. I think it's going to get dangerous out there, especially as the cabin fever really gets bad. That's it for now. Total Control 871.